What's going on, YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get right into the story. If you put a few men all in the same room from different parts of the world, or even who don't speak the same language, one thing I guarantee most of us will have in common: if you pull out a phone, show a picture of a beautiful woman, or one walks in the room, we will all be on the same page for that moment. It's a universal thing. Some call it a weakness, the levels most men will go to impress or book a woman they are feeling. When you think about it, that's why most go get fresh, get haircuts, want a certain amount of money or a nice car, is to attract the opposite sex. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you are young and single. But putting yourself out there can be tricky. It's common nowadays for a woman to ask a man, how much money do you make? Can you take care of me or provide the lifestyle she feels like she deserves? It's almost like, if you want me, what are you willing to do to get me? It's not about I like you, you like me, let's get it out the mud and build together. It's vicious out here right now on the dating scene for men and women. Everyone's standards are through the roof. So when people finally feel like they found someone in their league or someone they can have a grown-up night or fun with, they go for it. Not knowing, depending on the person or people, that night can go left real fast. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Las Vegas, Nevada to discuss the case of a man and his plans to link up with two women that led to a fatal setup. In May of this year, a 25-year-old man named Brian Solano was in Las Vegas. Much wasn't known about the man, other than the fact he was from Nicaragua and was in the States for a new life, to work and eventually gain his citizenship. For a tourist in Sin City with a few dollars, Brian decided he would have fun. Casinos, partying, but especially women. On May 14th, Brian linked up with a woman he had been chatting with online. Since he didn't have legal documents, when the two met up, he gave her some bread and she booked them a room at the Caesars Palace. That was about 9:30 p.m. The two hung out, had a good time, and about 1:30 a.m., Brian walked her downstairs so valet could bring her car, and she left. But young and energetic in a city that doesn't sleep, Brian wasn't ready to take it in just yet. He had some bread, and even though he didn't speak English, he knew money talked. So he hit the Vegas Strip. Outside, he ran into two young ladies who he thought looked good and they could have fun together. The two women were 20-year-old Erica Covington and her cousin Ariana Taylor, also 20. Not able to understand each other, they used a translation app to see what the play would be for that night. Not knowing much about the States, Brian having a successful link up earlier that night and thinking, what could these small women do, informed them he wanted them to come up to his room for some fun. The girls noticed he was carrying a bag. They assumed that's where he kept all his cash. About 2:30 a.m., the trio entered the hotel. With two women on his arms, Brian thought everything was all good. They entered the hotel room. The next morning, about 11:30 a.m., housekeeping tried to clean and knocked on the door. Knowing it was checkout time for whoever was in the room, they entered. Inside was a man suffering from a single gunshot wound to the chest. Police and paramedics were called, but it was too late. The victim was identified as 25-year-old Brian. He was pronounced gone on the scene. Inside the room was a cell phone, spent shell casing, and other items. Knowing the hotel had heavy security cameras, detectives went to the footage. It showed Brian with two females smiling walk into the room. About 15 minutes later, the woman running out with what looked like the same bag he had on earlier that day. As one of the women dropped her phone, it gave police a better angle. The first lead they took was calling the woman who booked the room in the first place. She stated she met Brian on a dating app, and she did in fact book the room in her name, but she left and assumed he stayed. Her story checked out, so the next move would be locating the two women in the video. As more information came out and ballistic test was done on the shell found at the scene, it matched the shell casings to another crime scene a few months earlier. A young lady was in a domestic dispute and police was called on the scene. The same caliber bullet was found shot from that same gun. The victim of that incident was Ariana Taylor. Police on the script looked at the video from the hotel and recognized Ariana as one of the women that was walking with Brian. They went to the apartment to find her and Erica inside. They searched, finding a Glock magazine and a warrant for their cell phones showed Instagram videos from the same day Brian was hit that showed the young woman posting wearing the same clothes the girls from the hotel was wearing that night. When confronted with the information, Erica at first told police she wasn't at the hotel until they showed her pictures and videos from Ariana's phone, in which her cousin had tagged her in the photos wearing the same clothes as one of the women from the hotel footage. She then requested a lawyer. Ariana claimed she had memory loss from a bad car accident and doesn't recall what she did 2 days prior. When confronted with the same evidence, she told detectives she was done talking and they needed to do their job. On May 17th, both cousins were taken into custody, charged with first-degree murder and armed robbery. As more videos came out, allegedly showing a woman fleeing the scene in a stolen car, parked by another hotel. As they appeared in court, they both pleaded not guilty on all counts. As of now, the case hasn't made its way to trial yet, and both women are innocent until proven otherwise. Rest in peace to Brian. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. It seemed the man just wanted to have a good time, spend some money, and do his thing. Which, if that's your vibe, that's cool, especially in Vegas. That's what they own. But unfortunately, he didn't understand the stakes and how cutthroat and cruddy a person can be for $1. Even two young females with a pretty face. As men, I'm sure we all have stories of late night missions to go see a woman. I know I have been to some treacherous places at 3 in the morning to see a girl. The projects and all. Blocks with 50 dudes on the step, really out here loose. My mind was only on one thing. Most of us are blinded by that and do things we probably would never do. This situation was a little different. Brian probably had luck of meeting a few women and nothing went wrong, leaving him thinking it was all love until he met the ones who allegedly took his life. Fellas, don't always trust them pretty faces and smiles. Evil comes in all forms and fashions. So remember, we gotta succeed not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, crazy story. Rest in peace, that man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one in the comments. Definitely be respectful. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. This is another episode of Hood Tales. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.